send us love and to send the listeners love.
Yeah, I understood that.
Welcome to the Healing Soul podcast, empowering wellness and oneness. I'm your host, Marybeth Rombach Nelson, and I'm really excited. I have a special guest today, Ann Smets. Welcome to the Healing Soul podcast, Ann. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, Mary Beth, and thank you for
Hi.
having me. Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
Anne. Thank you. A bit away from where you're located, I am a born Belgian and currently live in Belgium, although I have lived extensively all over the world. So maybe I'll start a bit with my own journey, my healing journey, which I think
Perfect.
most practitioners in this field, that's when they start first with themselves and then share it with the world, isn't it? So I was always interested in the world. I never really felt that Belgium was my place to be forever. And soon after graduation, I really discovered I was a very free-spirited soul. So I had to fly out and discover the world. So started traveling a lot. And by being exposed to different cultures, I also learned more and more about natural health, holistic living. I then started to travel around Southeast Asia. And that was really a homecoming for me. That was definitely a place in the world where I then went back for a duration of more than a decade to start my studies, because in school you only know so much what you really want to do. And then after I explored more of the real world and what my soul wanted to do, and that had all to do with yeah, self-discovery, and out of the principle that we're all connected, basically as above so below, with the earth and with the universe, and starting to really integrate that inner knowledge and awaken the wisdom that was already in me, but I just rediscovered it. I then knew what I really wanted to do. So at age 30, thereabout, a good 25 years ago now, I started to re-educate myself. And a good decade after, I've done many studies in Southeast Asia, according to the lineage of the Taoist lineage, which I later discovered is one of my blood lineages. That was really the foundation of my practices. And from then on, it grew. And a lot of my own light soul codes started to awaken and brought me to where I am today, is really holding space for humanity to also awaken their own soul and their own soul gifts, because we all are, how I see, divine beings. It's just that we've forgotten along the way. And yeah, that's why I love now to hold space for those that know there is more to life, but we need guidance. We all need a guide. And yeah,
I love
that's
it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's perfect. It's a beautiful transformation of your life to your knowingness, to your heritage, to your ancestral wisdom that you're
Yeah.
embracing now. And I know we talked about briefly before we started. Can you explain to our listeners multidimensional awareness and what that means to the listener?
Yeah, it's a vast topic, but I do believe that we all are vibrational beings, and looking at the body, it's just one aspect of who we are. So, based on the Taoistic studies, if you start looking at Qi or Prana in India, the energy flow, you start to understand that we have our physical vessel. That's one part of our being, but we have also an emotional body, mental body, and a spiritual body. So these are the layers that make up who we are as a human walking on this planet.
Right.
Yeah, and what I discover now, and many of and you also in many of our colleagues who work with frequency, with light, with energy, the earth itself, because we are so connected, the earth has shifted in especially the last decade from that stagnant 3D reality. We're now full into that 5D new high vibrational frequency that's happened on planet earth. And that's probably why a lot of people feel not at ease anymore, because we humanity, we're also invited now to shift with that from our stagnant 3D heaviness. With that comes all the emotions, like the typical
Right.
ones: anxiety, fear, what's all around the world. We need to shift that now and come back to that love essence of life, which is unconditional love for
Right.
ourselves and for everything, because everything is a vibrational entity. So are we. And once we
Right.
start to realize that more, life becomes a lot more easy and in flow.
So realizing that we are that divine light in our heart and our soul, and developing our aura to represent who and what we stand for, and expanding our aura out and above and below, resonating with the earth, meditating and rising and connecting to our higher self and to nature, which is everyone and everything.
Yes, that's exactly that. And knowing that we are not alone. I do believe very much in reincarnation, and our souls volunteered basically to come back to earth to evolve and to learn a lesson. I believe that's why we are here. So it's already extremely brave of every human being that walks this planet. That they're brave souls, because they actually are all volunteers to come
Right.
and do our thing here. And of course, for everybody, that's different. That may be for one being an amazing mother of five wonderful children. For the other, that may be a conservationist for the nature. We all have our tasks here. And once we start to understand that, but really to go within, then it really becomes so much more pleasant and interconnected. And now we start to also feel that we're actually never alone. We're always looked after, because we are that divine spark that's
Right.
within everything, isn't it? Yes.
Well, yeah, we've got our angels and our archangels around us. We've got our spirit guides helping us. We have a spiritual team cheering us on and helping us. We just need to ask for help daily. And then, talking about our body, mind, and soul and the different levels of our being and our spiritual health, what modalities or what would you suggest for our listeners? Because life is hard to get that peace, to start on that soul's journey. What modalities or what, like Reiki or what things do you suggest to people to get in tune?
Yeah. That's a very good question, and I think it's very individual where a person is at this moment in the life. It
Right.
can be that somebody is in extreme physical pain. That's
Mhm.
also a sign of misalignment. So for me, a combination of looking after your body, so that entails also lifestyle changes, as in nutrition, as in exercise, drinking water, but then also going to the root cause of that trigger, of that pain, which always comes down to it's the emotions. And if we filter it, narrowing down, then it's like it's often karmic imprints. It's stuff that we've taken on even from other lifetimes. It's limiting beliefs that have been brought up to us from when we were children, maybe parents, school, society. And now what I notice a lot when I do the energy healing we're taking a lot on from the collective consciousness, because when you feel like you're a high sensitive soul, you take on other people's emotions easily. That all plugs into your own energy field, so that needs clearing as well. So energy healing is actually the most direct way to clear out the vessel, combined with advice in lifestyle changes. And I think if you go with these two along the way, you come a long way and you can shift a lot. Yes.
It's so true. And I really am a believer in meditating because I think
Yeah.
meditation gives you clarity. When you have a clear mind, you can make the changes that you need to make in your life on every aspect of your life.
Yes, very. Yeah, I agree with you. Meditation is amazing. And there's so many different ways to meditate, right? Because so often I hear the feedback, yeah, I'm not a meditator because I can't sit still up my pillow in the home
Right.
pose. But that's not necessary. There are so many amazing tools. You can have guided meditations, or for me, simply a walk in nature is like
I agree.
the
Yeah.
most meditative little thing you can do. But yeah, it helps so much. It's getting out of that left brain dominant ego chatterbox that's constantly active,
Right.
and all the thoughts and emotions and worries and all that. And just by meditating, you can come in that relaxed alpha state of mind, where the soul gets to light up and gets to speak a louder voice than the ego. And once you reach that shift, you also feel like, whew, there's a lot less turbulence in the head, and that helps definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just walking by the water or a lake
Yeah.
or the stream, especially sitting on the beach by the ocean. It
Yes.
just puts you in an immediate calm and meditative state, and it almost clears out and opens your chakras too.
Absolutely. And I love you mentioning that, because I have a lecture which is the healing power of water. And that's
Oh,
exactly, yeah, for body, mind, and soul. And exactly that, the effect that it has, it's because we resonate so well, because we are also beings, for an average of 75%, we are water. And water is such a carrier of information, and that's why we feel so much that connectedness with water in general, for the mind and the peace of calm, and boost creativity. So yeah, it's great you're mentioning that.
yeah, it always has resonated with me. And then I know we briefly talked about how to awaken your DNA. Can you expand on that for our listeners?
Yes, that is something that happens with the sacred activations, energy healing sessions that I exchange with my clients. Because in general, what I notice with our DNA currently, it's like with the soul, it's kind of dormant, and we have an originate carbon DNA, because we all originate from the Big Bang, right? So
Mhm.
the molecules, the substances, there is a lot of there. It's carbon, you have iron ore, and so on. But if we look back at humanity, thousands of years ago, for instance, in Lemurian times or Atlantis time and old Egyptian time as well, humanity had a higher vibrational DNA. We call it the crystalline DNA,
Mhm.
where everything was a lot more connected, almost telepathically, with the different dimensions. So the concept of time and space almost evaporates, and one could be on different realities at the same time in the quantum field. So by recalibrating our DNA to that higher frequency again, that can really for us bring a massive shift in our well-being. If we have pains will ease out, diseases can be healed. If we have just a little bit a lower emotion, that can be shifted. So
Right.
through clearing out, let's say, all the dust that's within us, I don't like to call it a bad word, but it's just dust that we've collected over
Right.
lifetimes and lifetimes. Our DNA can readjust itself again, can get to that higher frequency so that we can start really remembering again that who we really are, that divine spark, and live out of that consciousness, which is really a conscious state of being. Because what's happened now is that about 95% of our awakened life is through the subconsciousness, and that's where all the old programming gets stuck. So
Right.
that's a little bit what we do with the energy clearing, is to clear out all what no longer serves us so that we can recalibrate ourselves again as well.
So it's about clearing it out, aligning, and do you equate it to like the Kundalini rising in you for the realization of who you really are?
Yes, as well. So we have done also the balance between the divine masculine and feminine on the both sides. So the both energies, it's all duality in life, isn't it? Yin and yang. So that's
Right.
all within us. So when we get that recalibrated into the balance, the connection with the Mother Earth and with the universe and our spirit guides and all that, and when we establish that connection and just consciously live with the connectedness, as above so below, as within so without, then we start to, yeah, everything in life starts just to flow. I
Right.
can't, yeah, I mean, right, I believe what we can create miracles on a daily basis, and
Oh, we
everybody can do it,
we
can't
can
we? Yeah.
manifest if we have the mind shift to believe and expect and to be able to visualize it, that
Yeah,
anything is possible for us. All
yeah,
things are possible for us, which
yeah,
is really freeing and it empowers your soul.
yeah, it
It,
is.
and I feel like balancing the feminine and the masculine of the emotions and feeling and then doing.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly that. Because it's not a bad thing. It's good that we have emotions. We are emotional beings. So we don't doom them. We just shed our light on it. And also we are brave enough to face our shadow side, but knowing that the light is always stronger, we can now put our light over our shadows so that we can transform them and basically thank all the bad things that happen in life,
Right.
uh, be grateful for them, because it's helping us to evolve to the higher dimensions again, and to our true essence, our soul essence. Yes.
I feel like the biggest tragedies in our lives propel us to our soul's purpose. And I think that not that we ask for them, but they're in our path to expand us and to have us grow. And that's why we're here, to help other people, to have compassion for ourselves, and then compassion for others, and then to learn and take the wisdom from it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I also know for a fact that life will never throw anything at us that we're not capable to deal with in this lifetime. There's this one song, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," but it's so true,
It
isn't it?
is so, I totally
Yeah.
agree with that because
Yeah.
you realize once you go through something that's really difficult, how strong you truly are, and that
Yeah.
once you realize you can handle anything, there's no
Yeah.
stopping you.
No, exactly. Yeah, and your mind shifts as well. You start to think in possibilities instead of limitations. And then that's another realization as well. And for me, I feel the moment I started to embrace myself and really unconditionally love, first of all myself, and then also the others unconditionally, that was a big lesson for me.
Right.
Then life changed really dramatically. So yeah.
Well, just for our listeners to realize that they're already whole at this
Yeah,
very moment, they don't have to change a thing and
no.
they're already unconditionally loved. And like I said, they have a spiritual team that's there. If they ask for help daily, it will be given.
You are so right. That's absolutely true. That's, I think, the biggest takeaway for listeners is just that what you said. There's everybody has that team of light beings surrounded that love unconditional, and everybody's perfect. Yeah, definitely a whole divine being.
Right, right. And then I had watched a video that you were talking about flower essences. And I don't know
Yeah.
that much about flower essences, and our listeners probably some of them aren't aware of that either. Could you explain what that is?
Yeah, that's another product. I mean, I love the connectedness with nature, and nature, as we mentioned before, is our highest healer. So, working with flower essences or essential oils in the whole is an easy way, but such a pleasant way in your household to lift your frequencies, because plants essences, flower essences, they all have a vibrational frequency as well, just
Okay.
as us human beings. Yeah.
Like holistically healing?
Yeah, exactly. And so what it does is not just smelling great, but it actually, let's say you have a little diffuser where you have your flower essence or your raisin or whatever smell is nice for you, because there's different note categories. You have the floral, you have the citrus, and you have the woody. But they're all on a high frequency. So if you are a little bit sick or you feel down, your frequency automatically drops. So by diffusing the essences, the frequency, the airborne little particles are higher frequency. And then it's just like tuning in a radio, you have to match the right frequency to have nice music. So what the essence in your room will do, they will come and find you, and your low vibration will come up and meet the high vibration of the
Oh,
plant essence,
wow.
and you feel immediately a boost. So, for instance, if you're in an office and you need creativity, you need energy, citrus essences are really good, like orange, tangerine. Grapefruit is a wonderful one as well. And
Okay.
you diffuse that in your office, you'll have that creativity, inspiration, energy going, and it really helps you. Yeah, in that way, very subtle, but it really is a
It can be
magnificent
profound.
tool. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be very profound. And the same, like you say, you love meditating. So if you take a little bit of frankincense oil, either in a diffuser or you just rub it by your hands, you smell it, or you press a little bit on your third eye or your throat
That was my
chakra.
next question. Are they like essential oils?
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
Flower
they are. Okay.
essences is also they have come in little spray bottles as well, so you
Okay.
can just spray them in your auric field, which is
Okay.
also something I
So
love
then you're
to
kind of
do.
absorbing them in.
Yeah, exactly. There are beautiful ones for high sensitive people. It's one that I use. It's called protection. So, because I know for a fact, if I go out in town and I go to a busy mall, I really get very tired coming out. So I just spray the protection essence around me, and it just kind of helps you also in your auric field
Kind of like
to
a
yeah.
spiritual boundary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it just smells wonderful as well. So yeah, you get the double benefit, right?
Definitely, definitely. So I know you teach classes. What's your favorite topic to teach on?
I think probably just there is one class that I have. It's a 21 day. It's called From Caterpillar to Butterfly. It's just little tricks, like small, short minute hacks, what people can do in their daily life just to make that little shifts in the lifestyle. Because very often people think, oh, it's too much work for me to change, or I don't know where to start, but it's not difficult at all. And it's just bringing the awareness to the simple things in life that can make already a shift. And you don't have to start, let's say, with an hour of meditation. You can just do 5 minutes, or you can just start with a little bit of moving your body to clear out the stagnancy in the morning, so you feel your energy, your chi flow again. So just these little bite-sized shifts, I love teaching that, because for many people it's aha moments, that,
Right.
but it's just you have, yeah, if your awareness is not brought to it, you don't know where to start, and that's always a nice start point, and then it can go deeper and deeper, no matter what the interest is. Yeah.
And I love it that you start with 21 days because it takes 21 days to create a new habit. And
Right.
then you think those little changes, if you keep it up consistently throughout a whole year,
Yeah.
has a huge effect on your life. And then you keep going from there. And it does
Yeah.
awaken everything and align you when you do new practices that are healthy for your body and your mind and your soul. It changes everything. And then those, like you said, the aha moments of realizing we really are our soul,
Yeah.
and there are no limits to what we can do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also, I think you should not be too hard on yourself. So don't beat yourself up if you don't see instant change within three
Right.
weeks, because it's a journey of lifetimes. And that's what I notice a lot of people I work with, after 6 months, they expect miracles, but that's it's just the
Yeah.
occasional one can happen, but it generally
Right.
takes a lot longer than that. But
So,
I
yeah.
always say, look at yourself now and a year back, and look at the transition that's happened from you where you're at now and where you were a year ago. And if you
Right.
start doing that, you're like, wow, yeah, a lot has changed in my life. I'm on the
And,
right track.
and journaling and dating your journal
Yeah,
and rewarding yourself and having gratitude for those small little steps you take.
yeah,
Because then you can look at your journal and be like, oh my gosh, that's where I started, and this is where I am today. And look at the synchronicities in my life that have happened, and this opportunity happened, and you see your spiritual growth and where you are on your journey by journaling. I have journals, hundreds and hundreds of journals where I just write notes to myself and
yeah.
things that have happened. But once you become aware of the synchronicities that happen, more and more are invited in.
Yes, exactly. And also, what's so beautiful is it's not yourself only that shifts, it's also your environment, like your husband or wife, your children. Everybody benefits, because it's like a ripple effect. Once you start working on yourself, you'll see your whole entourage change as well. And
Right?
that's so beautiful, right? And and
Right, because
and
you're
that's
you're beaming your auric field and beaming your soul's love for everyone to everyone when you enter the room, and people feel it and respond to it.
Yes, exactly. And I think in this day and age, especially if you have young children, it's the best education you can give them is to really keep believing in them, in yourself, and keep that strength and innocence that young children have. Because especially if you have very young children, take them as your teachers, because young children are still so connected with all the light beings, the elementals in nature, and so on, is up until the age of 7 or so. And
Right?
that's where the world of unicorns and fairies and mermaids, they're all there. So start playing within that world, and reawaken the child within you, and it's gonna be magical. Yeah.
Well, yeah, just learning how to play and relax again. I'm
Yeah.
everyone listening, if you could just play, even if it's just on the weekends, do something frivolous and fun. It is so good for your soul.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, okay, what does my soul want to do today to have fun? It doesn't
Right,
always have to be serious, right? And that's just the
right.
simplest thing to remember who you are again and to feel that fire in your belly again, definitely.
And just to experience pure bliss and joy again. I mean, we're all running around so busy with our lives, our
Yeah,
families, our work, and just realizing it's okay to take a break, to take a rest, to have fun,
yeah,
to go for a bike ride, to go for a walk. Don't feel guilty about the laundry. The laundry can wait, you know?
exactly. Yeah, or even take a nap. I love napping.
Oh, it's so
It's
good.
just,
It's
yeah,
so good for you.
yeah, it is. Yeah. It's fantastic, and it's self-care. It's necessary. We shouldn't forget to do that, definitely.
I agree.
Uh,
And I always say our spiritual health is just as important as our physical health
yeah,
and our well-being.
exactly. Yeah, it's like hygiene maintenance. We all take showers, we brush our teeth, but we also have to take care of our soul. It's a part. It's very essential as well. We should not forget that, definitely.
Yeah, because it's the whole purpose why our soul is here to walk our soul's path and our
Yeah.
journey for our highest good and everyone's highest good.
Yeah, I do believe so. Everyone's highest good and up to the extent for the planet and even beyond the universe as well. If we really want the big picture, I believe that's our part of our task here is to support that and to work on that collectively. That's why I also love like communities meeting together or do like meditation circles, things like that, because collectively when our hearts connect heart to heart, even online, the frequency goes out so much more into the quantum field, so we really create ripples that extend far beyond what we think is possible, and that's where shifts happen. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I wrote a book, Intuitive Heart. Feel
Oh
your
yeah, yeah.
intuition in your heart. And I had a near-death experience, and I literally feel love shooting out of my heart for everyone and everything. And people feel that heart-to-heart connection.
Yeah.
And you know what to do with your life and what your soul is telling you through your intuitive heart. It helps to guide you if you slow down in some way and really pay attention to how you feel more than how you think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely right. So yeah, the soul lives in the heart, and when we can just sink into that and just trust that it always is right, then
Right.
it's so much better.
It,
Yes.
it will guide us perfectly.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you, Anne. It has been such a pleasure speaking with you today, and thank you for being on the Healing Soul. How can our listeners find you?
Well, it would be lovely to connect. The website is www.soulestara, Soulestara, but you'll write it down, .com, or even a little email or via the website, and I'll be happy to connect. I have an Instagram page as well at Soulestara22.
Okay.
So, yeah, various ways. And
Wonderful. And I will put
yeah,
all that information in the podcast notes so people can find you. And like I
wonderful.
said, we'll talk again. It's been a total pleasure. And
Yes.
thank you so much. And I always pick an intuitive heart oracle card. And
Oh,
today's was
wonderful.
perfect. Yeah, it's transcendence.
Nice.
So, transcendence is rising above it all, reaching a state of bliss in your mind. Let your body rest while you meditate on your higher self and transcend. So, thank you
Ah,
again.
wow, beautiful. Thank you, Marybeth. Thank you for your
Thank
time
you.
and having me. And all
It
the
was,
listeners, thank you for listening.
yes, thank you. And
Pleasure.
remember to hit the follow button and share this episode and know that God loves you and so do I, empowering
Yes.
wellness and oneness, the healing soul. Thank you.
Lots of love.